Hey everybody, it's Wayne coming at you with a portfolio update, coming at you in week 47 of 2023. Lots to get in, so let's go ahead and jump in. As you guys know, I've got two primary brokerages that I feature on a weekly to monthly basis, giving you updates on the overall portfolio status. Let's go ahead and start off with M1, currently sitting at about 155,000. This past few weeks, I've seen this portfolio reach all-time highs. We have had a pretty remarkable surge in the overall market, which has been reflected both in M1 as well as Robinhood. As you guys know, I mean business this year in an effort to build my portfolio, in an effort to build generational wealth. So as of today, I am currently contributing $125 Monday through Friday without exception. Now, I do have a plan that's going to slightly change the amount that I'm contributing to this account come 2024. So you will have to remain tuned in to see what the plan is. Let's go ahead and jump into the portfolio. So admittedly, one of the big frustrations that I've had with M1 this past year is inaccurate portfolio values, especially when it comes to market gains and or losses. Now, if we're looking at the all-time market gains or loss, it's showing that I have an all-time return of 4.66%. Now, it is important to note that it does factor in earned dividends. But let's go ahead and take a look here at one of my slices, specifically the quarterly dividend slice. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to the frustration that I have. Take a look here at Kroger. Now, if we look at Kroger, it would give you the indication that the all-time gain, even factoring in earned dividends, is 1.93% or about $85, and the value being $4,400. But if we scroll down, this math does not make sense whatsoever because the average per share cost on my 100 shares is $49.09. The current market price is $44.18. Like I said, that's easily $500 right there that I'm in the hole, and yet that is not reflected right here. So again, anytime I talk about portfolio gains in M1, I would caution you to take it with a grain of salt. Let's go ahead and actually go over to the total amount of holdings. Now, this to me is more accurate information. And for the 37 positions, that's right, in the past month I have sold out of a few positions. My cost basis on those 37 positions is $156 plus thousand. The current value is $155. So in reality, my total unrealized loss is just under 1% or about $1,250. So speaking of these three positions that I sold out of, let's go ahead and head over to activity and let's go ahead and narrow this down to trading only. And we're going to scroll down to where it indicates a sell took place. If we click on the first one, you guys will see that just this past month, I sold out of VTI and I sold out of Cube. Now with VTI, I actually sold out of this position much earlier in the week, but for whatever reason, when that market sell took place, it did not sell out of the entire VTI position. So you're going to see that be a little bit repetitive here. And there you have it. I also sold out of SPY-D, and there was the bigger chunk of VTI that I sold out of. Now, why did I sell out of VTI? VTI was actually a difficult decision for me. That is the total stock market ETF. And in essence, it comes down to the plan that I have in 2024. I am going to be investing in newly created brokerage accounts for my kids. And so I decided, why hold a total stock market ETF in my portfolio when I could hold something similar in their portfolio? So be on the lookout for that as well. Taking a look here, I also sold out of this net lease office properties. Didn't really want a whole lot to do with that position with their recent transaction. Now, do I think that these 37 positions will go down any further? It's tough to say right now, but the focus I have still remains on all of the stocks within that long-term hold slice. Now, in that long-term slice, which currently sits at a whopping $57,640, I've got a total of 17 positions. Now, the biggest position by far is going to be Realty Income, sitting at just over 14,000. And then the smallest holding is going to be AbbVie, sitting at just over $2,600. Now, all of these are pretty much evenly weighted. So this has been the nice thing about M1. I voiced earlier my frustration with M1 with properly calculated total return, but this is what M1 does get right, and that is equally balancing all of my positions without me having to do anything other than set a target percentage. So we've got O, AVGO, McDonald's, Lowe's, Johnson & Johnson, VDE, Texas Roadhouse, UNP, UNH, SCHD, Waste Management, Procter & Gamble, Snap-on, Pepsi, Visa, Caterpillar, and AbbVie. I do not expect me to change any of these 17 positions going forward into 2024. But with that, never say never. Let's go ahead and take a look as to what's going down in the Robinhood portfolio. Okay, taking a look here at Robinhood. Currently, the total portfolio value sits at just under $410,000. You can see for the week, I am up slightly, 0.85%, or about $3,400. In the last month, I've mentioned this incredible surge that we have seen in the market, and that has certainly been reflected in my Robinhood portfolio. I am up just under 7%, which is about $26,000. Year to date, however, I am up a solid 30%, otherwise $96,000. This is an incredible number, and I'm going to be honest, it has a lot to do with how heavy in tech that I am in my Robinhood brokerage. Let's go ahead and break down what this $409,000 breaks down to be. And if I go over to the investing tab, it's going to show you that the $409,000 breaks down to be just over $360,000 that I have in stocks and options. And I'm holding about $48,000 in brokerage cash. Remember, that number as far as brokerage cash is always going to fluctuate depending on the number of covered calls or cash secured puts that I'm selling, and I have had a pretty good month when it comes to earning premium, but I'm also actively pulling from that brokerage account to pay various things like taxes and bills and other expenses that come up in our household. Let's go ahead and scroll down and take a look here at the top 5 performers in my portfolio, and to no surprise, as I mentioned, tech has done really well this past year. Microsoft, in which I own 201 shares, my average cost per share is $246. With the current price of $377, I have an unrealized total gain of just over $26,000. Apple has also done pretty fantastic this past year. I own 200 shares. Now my cost basis is $135.99. With the current share price, that puts me at over $10,000 in unrealized gains. Amazon has also done a pretty remarkable about face this past year. I owned 600 shares, but 100 of those shares were called away, reference a covered call contract. So I've got 500 shares remaining. Now I do have covered calls written for all of those 500 shares, so I do need to be mindful of that as the share price of Amazon continues to go up. Right now, my cost basis per share is $126. The current share price is $146, so I'm just under $10,000 in a total return. Meta has also seen, yet again, an amazing turnaround for 2023. For the 100 shares that I own, I am up just about $9,600. And to no one's surprise, especially mine, I've been a believer in Celsius for quite some time. Celsius, by the way, recently experienced a 3-to-1 split earlier in the month. So those 100 shares have now turned into 300 shares. And with that new adjusted average cost, it puts me at $25.47. The current share price is $53.61. And so Celsius has a total gain for me in my portfolio of just over $8,400. Let's go ahead and break down the top 5 losers. And Tesla has had a yo-yo of a year with share price. Currently, for the 300 shares that I own, I am down just about $12,000. Now, the good news about Tesla is I have been able to sell quite a bit of cash secured puts, making a decent amount of premium. It certainly does not cover this entire $12,000 deficit, but it certainly helps. And as you guys know, Tesla, with the volatility, has made for an excellent stock for me to sell options against. But I do got to be careful based on the covered calls that I actively have out there. Traeger is a big fat loser in my portfolio. It's almost an eyesore. I don't want to look at it, but I'm not quite ready to cut my losses. UPS is one that I'm very optimistic that is going to go ahead and rebound in 2024. We'll see, though. I do own 101 shares. My cost basis is quite a bit higher than the average share price, which is currently at $151.98. So I'm sitting on an unrealized total loss of just about $3,000. CVS has also performed pretty poorly this past year. The 100 shares that I own, I am way down in my position. My average cost is nearly $96 per share. Current share price of CVS is about $70. That is certainly not a good thing to see. And then Pfizer is another stock that I'm actually optimistic about in 2024. We'll see. I think Pfizer has had a major correction since COVID seemed to be a thing in our rearview mirror. So we'll see what happens for my 200 shares that I'm holding. But right now, I'm about $10 per share in the hole. Currently, Pfizer is at $30.59. My average cost is about $10 more. And so I've got an unrealized loss of $1,926. All right, to close things out, let's give you a peek at some of the dividends that I have received, starting in Robinhood. This past week, I received $16.45 from SPHD, a monthly payer. Starbucks paying me out about $57. Costco paying me out about $19. It is important to note, as I continue to daily cost average on my Costco position in Robinhood, I am also reinvesting those dividends as well. You guys saw earlier that Apple is one of my bigger holdings in Robinhood. They paid me out a pretty fantastic dividend of $48.19. And if we scroll down, we've certainly seen a few more solid dividend payers. Let's go ahead and jump over to M1. These are also the dividends that I have received in the past week or so. And you can see that HTGC not only had a fantastic quarterly dividend payment, but they also had a special payment. And so I earned well over $110 just on my HTGC position. Caterpillar, which is in that long-term hold slice, paying me out $11.41. Horizon, one of my favorite monthly payers, paying me out just about $70. And you can see here Procter & Gamble, AbbVie, Stag, Maine, O Realty Income, ADC, and several others. You guys are going to have to be on the lookout, by the way, for a forthcoming dividend haul for the month of November. I don't think it's going to break any records, but certainly it puts me on track to making my goal of $15,000 in passive income. So there you have it, guys, a portfolio update for both of my main brokerages, a peek into some of the dividends that I've received. I hope you guys had a fantastic holiday. We'll see you on the next one.